Ilia Topuria's real problem isn't Volk. It's Paddy Pimblett. Everyone's talking about Ilia. Topuria versus Alexander Volkanovski. But what if I told you that the real nightmare for Ilia might be lurking somewhere else entirely? A fighter who's loud, unpredictable, and already in his head. Paddy Pimblett. Ilia's climbing the rankings fast. And yeah, Volkanovski is the fight everyone expects. But what happens if Paddy keeps winning, keeps talking, and keeps poking the bear? Paddy isn't just another lightweight. He's a media machine. The kind of guy who can call out anyone and get a response. And guess what? Ilia already responded. Some say it's hype. But when a fighter shows that much emotion over a guy in a different division, you know there's something real there. Ilia Topuria is undefeated, laser focused, and closing in on a title shot. So why does a guy like Paddy Pimblett still get under his skin? This isn't just about hype or headlines. This goes way deeper. It's not just that they don't like each other. It's personal. Real personal. It all started back in 2022, UFC London. The tension had been brewing online. Paddy made some disrespectful comments, and Ilia, never one to hold back, fired right back. But it didn't stop there. When they finally crossed paths in person, it got ugly fast. No security, no cameras ready. Just two dudes who genuinely wanted to hurt each other. Since then, Ilia hasn't let it go. Even while dominating featherweights and chasing Volk's belt, he still mentions Paddy. He calls him immature, overhyped, and soft. But if it's all smoke, why keep bringing it up? Here's the truth. Ilia can't stand the way Paddy got built up. While he had to earn every bit of respect with highlight knockouts and flawless performances, Paddy had UFC spotlights, co-main events, and hype before he cracked the top 15. To Ilia, it probably feels like a mockery. While he's grinding in silence, Paddy's dancing after tap-outs and joking around in pressers. One guy sees this as a sport, the other, a show, and that's where the clash is. Ilia's from Georgia, grew up with a chip on his shoulder, trained in Spain, clawed his way through the European circuit. He's built from pressure. Paddy, on the other hand, had the crowd, the cameras, and Dana White's attention before he ever beat a ranked fighter. But here's the crazy part. The dynamic has changed. Paddy's no longer a gimmick. He just ran through Michael Chandler at UFC 314. He cracked the top 10. He's not just jokes and jelly legs anymore. He's legit. So, now, Ilia has a choice. Ignore Paddy and focus on Volkanovski, or settle unfinished business with a guy who's been living rent-free in his head for years. And with how much real emotion is behind this fight might not be a distraction. It might be destiny. Now you know why Ilia cares. It's not just a fight. It's pride. It's legacy. And if this ever gets booked, it won't just be for rankings. It'll be for something way deeper. Ilia Topuria is supposed to be the guy. Undefeated, powerful, on track for a featherweight title shot. But there's one wild card that could throw all of that off course. Paddy Pimblett. Crazy, right? On paper, this isn't even a conversation. Ilia's at featherweight. Paddy's at lightweight. One is all business. The other, all entertainment. But the reality? This fight could happen. And if it does, it could blow everything up. This wouldn't be the first time the UFC booked a grudge match that had nothing to do with belts. Bad blood cells, especially when both fighters are red hot. And this one has been heating up for years. Ilia's already made it clear. He'll fight Paddy anytime, anywhere. That's emotion talking. And while it makes for amazing promos, it's also risky. You know what happens when emotion gets in the driver's seat? Strategy takes a back seat. Paddy's been playing the long game. He's grown from a meme into a legit problem. He's 6-0 in the UFC. He's cracked the top 10. And love him or hate him, he knows how to get inside your head. Here's what's wild. If Paddy keeps calling Ilia out, and Ilia bites, it could pull him out of title contention completely. Volkanovski isn't waiting around. Featherweight is stacked. One wrong step, and the opportunity vanishes. And here's the thing. Paddy has nothing to lose in this fight. Ilia does. All of it. The perfect record, the title shot, the aura of being unbeatable. If he slips and loses to a guy outside his division, that shine's gone. The mystique? Gone. But imagine the other side. If Ilia wins, he shuts Paddy up for good and keeps his momentum. If he loses, the entire title picture shifts, and Paddy becomes a crossover star overnight. This is the chaos that makes MMA so unpredictable. It's not always about who's next in the rankings. Sometimes it's about who pushes the right buttons. And Paddy has been pressing everyone. So yeah, Paddy could absolutely derail Ilia's run. Not by being better, but by being the distraction Ilia never saw coming. There's a lot of noise in MMA. Call-outs, drama, viral moments. It's hard to know what's real, but every once in a while, something cuts through the chaos and makes you stop and go, wait, is this a legit rivalry? This one didn't start with a UFC promo. It started raw, backstage, out in public, no script, just tension. And that's what makes this feel different. This isn't just two fighters selling a fight. This is personal. Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett has layers. Different weight classes, different backgrounds, different attitudes. But the one thing they have in common, they both want to destroy each other. The fans feel it. Fighters feel it. Even Dana White's been asked about it more than once. And whether the UFC books it now, later, or never, it's already one of the most talked about what-if matchups out there. Think about the biggest rivalries in UFC history. None of them started with rankings. They started with attitude, with ego, with pride. That's exactly what we're seeing here. A rising champ with zero patience. And a rising star who's made a career out of annoying people into fighting him. And let's be honest, Paddy's not a joke anymore. 6 straight UFC wins, a co-main event at UFC 314, and the guy who just submitted Bobby Green in under 4 minutes. He's not just noise, he's a real problem now. Topuria, he's the most dangerous featherweight not named Volkanovski. Undefeated, brutal, efficient. But one thing we haven't seen, how he handles someone who's not afraid to turn it into chaos. If the UFC puts this together, even as a non-title super fight, it'll explode. Massive buildup, hype from both fan bases, real stakes for both fighters. It's the kind of rivalry that headlines a pay-per-view on its own. So, is this just noise? Not even close. This is the real deal. And it might just be the biggest rivalry the UFC didn't plan, but absolutely needs.